Hi guys, my name is Vishal and welcome to another session of Beginner Python. Um, so in this session, we're going to be talking about what we call as APIs, right? So before we actually get into the details of what an API is, let's talk about a use case, right? So let us say you're a data analyst, right? Whether you're a data analyst or you're a data scientist. And the biggest tool for you, or the most important thing for you, is data, right? Now, you want some data to do your analysis or whatever, to build a model or to do some kind of analysis or some kind of visualization to get some insights, whatever it is, you need data. And let us say you want data from a weather forecast website, right? From a weather forecast website because you want to do some weather analysis or weather forecast, right? Whatever it is. Now, how can you get data from this weather forecast website into, let us say, some form in which you can analyze it, right? How can you get the data from that website? You cannot go and copy every single line or every single page from that website, right? That's not feasible. And that is where the concept of API comes into play, right? Now, an API is nothing but application programming interface. That is what an API is, right? So, what does this fancy terminology mean? So, it is nothing but an API is nothing but something that allows two applications to communicate with each other, right? So in this scenario, let us say I want some data from another website or the weather website. One application is my code. I will write some code. Okay. I am going to write code and I'm going to ask for data from this website. And the website represents the second application. So my code is application 1 and the weather website is application 2. Now this is called the client side because I am the client. I am asking for data and this is called the server side because that is serving the data for me, right? And the API server is what helps us communicate. What helps these two applications to communicate with each other, right? So the client side is requesting for some data. So it sends what you call as a API request. Okay. And the server will pick this request, will get this from the server side and supply that information back to the client side. So that is how this whole API process works, right? So client side sends a request, API server will take that request, take it to the server side. The server side will return the data to the client or to me, right? Or to my application. Now, Data can be returned in different formats, but usually it's returned in a JSON format. Okay. So you can think of a JSON format as a dictionary format, multiple dictionaries. So we have something like name, age, and within age there can be other dictionaries, 21, 25, whatever. Data will be in this format. So that is called a JSON format most of the times. Or it can also be in XML format sometimes, but most of the times it is in what you call a JSON format. So that is the whole idea of an API or sending an API request, right? Pretty straightforward. So let's see how to sort of get this thing done. So to send API requests, I need to import something called requests and I'll import something called JSON. These are the two libraries to import. First, let me showcase something from a demo standpoint. So here is a demo website just to showcase how APIs work. So I can just go here, right? And we can just explore this website. Even it's a free, fake and reliable API for testing and prototyping website just to showcase this particular thing. And here it's sort of telling us how to try this thing, right? So I can put a bunch of things. I can have posts, comments, albums, so that there are different things basically that you can try things out with. So here what I've tried from this website, I've taken what they are calling as posts and I'm fetching the first post. Okay, I'm fetching the first post. So I'm going to put this URL and I'll say response is equal to request.get URL and that is called a get request. So I'm sending a request to get some data, to fetch some data. So again, I'm going to this website. I'm seeing what all resources are available. It says there's a the resources called posts, comments, everything available. I'm fetching that data here. So now if I run it, let us see what this response variable has inside. Okay, so it is saying it's a success. So 200 means success, right? Now if I see what the content is, it will tell me what is the content. So this is the content of my request. So this is one of the posts, right? So maybe if I want to get the second post, I can say posts of 2. Again, it's a success. This is the second post, right? There is also some, I can also get some comments. So let me try comments. So here is another comment. So it has email ID, it has some comment name, it has the comment body, all these things in some language. So this is basically how you can actually work. This is just a demo example, right? Now there's another thing you can do. There are so many websites that offer you free APIs. So let us say you want to fetch data of stock prices, right? So this is a very popular stock data website called Alpha Vantage, right? So you can go to alphavantage.co. So if you go to the stock market API, right? All you have to do is go to the stock market API and here they have given information on how to get data, how to send an API request to this particular Alpha Vantage website. So all you have to do is you just need to copy this, what they have given, right? And maybe paste it. Just maybe paste it. That's all you need to do, right? So once you paste it, you get some data, right? Here is your data. So request.get URL and data is equal to r.request.json. So it returns your data in a JSON format like this. This is the JSON format, as I said, a dictionary form. So this is for IBM and stock price every 5 minutes. Okay, stock price of every 5 minutes for IBM. That's the stock. So for different stocks, you can try maybe different keywords, which you can find on the website or maybe somewhere online, right? So now I have all the data for IBM. So you can see the latest data also. I have 2025 10/13. So that's the whole point. Now what I can do, I want to analyze this data, and it's difficult to analyze, by in JSON form, right? So I need to convert this into, I can convert this into a pandas data frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see from where my data begins. So my data begins from here. Time series 5 minutes. These are all some of the prior information, like what is the stock price, last refreshed, intraday, metadata, all this information. So it starts from here. The time series data starts from here. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to say, give me the data of the time series. And once I do that, you can see I have the data of my time series. So I have the date, 7:55, 7:50, 7:45, 7:40, 7:35. What was the prices? I have all that information. Now I need to convert this into a pandas data frame. I'll just say pt.dataframe.from dictionary and I'll pass this ts data, this thing, right? So there are different ways you can convert different data into pandas. This is one way to do it for this particular format. If you get a different format as an output, there are different ways to do it, and you can figure it out using some documentations, right? There is no one right way to do it. You will need to, for different data that you get from different websites, you will need to find out a way to convert that into usable data. There are so many ways to do it, and it depends on the format of the data also. So once I do this for this data, you can see now it's in a form in which I can analyze. I have the time, I have the opening, high, low, close, volume. All these I have. Right? So similarly, if you go back to this API, you can see you can get bunch of information here. Right? Intraday, 30 days, intraday. So there are so many time series daily. There are so many things you can get here. And there's also the direct code given to you. Right? So that is all about an API. Now, one thing you need to remember is for some or most APIs, to get most data from most websites, you will need something called an API key, right? So an API key, you can think of it like a password, which you will need to pass here. So for Alpha Vantage, for this website and this set of data, I don't need an API key. It's allowing me inside without an API key. But for most websites, most data, I will need an API key, which I can also get by creating an account and getting an API key. So I can create an account, let's say crypto. Some website is offering crypto prices. I can create an account on that website. It will give me an API key. Sometimes I need to pay, sometimes I get it for free. And I will use that API key to fetch the data. Okay, so that is how you would do it. You just put it here. Or you will have the code directly in the website for that, and you are just going to copy paste the code and put your API key. And your job is done. You will get the data. Then how to convert that data into a usable format, it's left to you. It's left to you to figure out based on the format of the data. So that is about APIs. Again, like you don't need to memorize the code or anything. This is just an introduction to what an API is and how to just get familiar with it, right? So that you know something like this exists in case you want to do some projects or scrape some data from a website or something like that. So that's about an API. Thank you.